welcome to day 2. We are going to start standing today. Let's take our legs nice and wide, wider than shoulder width apart, both feet facing forward, or you can have a slight turn out of your legs. Keeping your legs mostly straight but not locked, so they're not jarring straight back. There's just a tiny little bend in them. You're going to hinge forward and just round yourself over, just doing kind of a forward fold, keeping your legs nice and wide. You can add hands down here to support yourself, or you can let go of your hands and cross them. I want you to think about lifting your tailbone towards the ceiling, so you're feeling the stretch go down the whole back side of your legs. You can relax your neck, and if you want, you can sway it like a no and a yes, loosening up your neck vertebra. Make sure you're breathing. Let's take a big inhale, and with your exhale, drop it a little bit lower. Inhale. As you exhale, walk your hands towards your left leg, bringing both hands towards your left leg. Feel a little deeper stretch down the back of that left hamstring. Reaching the chest a little bit closer to that leg. You can use your hands to pull yourself a little bit, gently pull yourself a little bit. Inhale. As you exhale, drop it a little bit deeper. So with stretching, you want to wiggle into where it feels good for you. So if you're looking at me and you're like, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't feel good, wiggle yourself into a different position and get it so that you're feeling the stretch down the back of your leg. Walk your hands towards the center. Big inhale, deep exhale, dropping it lower. On your next inhale, walk over towards your right leg. And as you exhale, drop it lower towards that towards your right leg. I'm used to switching it for Pilates. I should have done that for you today. Sorry. I'll work on it. Inhale. As you exhale, drop it a little bit deeper. Lots of requests for hamstring stretching and hip opening. So we've got that going on for us over the next 30 days. Bring your hands back to the center, drop it down again. Arch your tailbone a little bit more towards the ceiling. Feel that stretch go deeper. Now bend your knees, so you have a bend in your knees. Place your hands on your knees and round your spine up. Good. Keep your hands on your knees. Keep the small bend in your knees. Lengthen your spine, so you're kind of making a nice long table. Drop your right shoulder towards your left knee, looking over your left shoulder if you would like to. You don't have to. If you don't want that extra twist with your cervical spine, you don't have to. You can just look to the side. So it's a really deep back twist. Great for your back. Bring it back to center. Drop the opposite shoulder towards the knee, looking over the shoulder. Really nice and twisty and deep. Bring it back to center. Pull your belly button in and rounding your back, making a big cat-cow, and then start with your tailbone and lengthen it out. You can either stop with a flat back or add a gentle little arch. Lifting the chest a little bit, then tuck the tailbone and round it out. And lengthen it back all the way through to that neutral position. Then round out your spine and roll all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. Good. We're going to come all the way down onto all fours. I don't know how to show you this one on a camera, but I think from the side is probably the best. So we'll go onto all fours. Take your right hand, we'll shift your weight to your left hand and your left knee. Take your right hand and place your ankle in your hand. Good. Now bring your hip behind you. Bring your ankle behind you. You're trying to do a good quad stretch, the front of your leg. If you are here and you're like, this is too much, I don't like this at all, come all the way down onto your side and do a quad stretch. What you want is either your knees to be in a line or your top leg to be slightly behind you, so you can get a deep stretch. Try to take it out of your lower back. If you're arching your lower back to bring it back, engage your core, Keep this nice and strong. Push your hip flexor forward as you bring your knee back. Good. Just real deep down the front of the thigh. So if your right leg is up, you're going to place your right leg down. Take your left leg and slide it in front of you for a deep runner's stretch. There's lots of options here. You want your heel below your knee, gently pushing your hip forward towards the mat. You can stay here. You can have both hands on one side. You can come down onto your elbows. So whatever feels best for you today. You want to feel it down the front of that right leg. Relaxed breathing. And then bring it back to all fours. Really strong. Shift your weight onto your right side. So your right hand's really strong, your right knee. Take your hand and place your ankle in your hand and bring your leg back. Good. Push your hip forward, squeezing your tush, or come all the way down and lie on your side. Excellent. I feel a nice deep stretch down the front of my leg and into my hip flexor when I am up in this cat-cow position. Don't get me wrong, I personally like stretches where you don't have to work. We'll do a lot of those kind of static stretches. Those are my favorite, but these are good ones. Bring that knee down, keep that knee down, and slide the opposite leg forward into your runner's lunge. The most common mistake I see here is if your foot's back and your knee is in front of you. That puts a lot of pressure on your knee joint, so just move your foot in front of you or slide your leg back so that your heel is below your knee, not behind it. Dropping that hip down. You can bring both hands to one side if that's more comfortable. You can come down onto your elbows. Slide your shoulders down away from your ears no matter which position you're in. Great. Next we're going to do a really deep back fascia stretch. So you're back on all fours. Take your right hand and slide it through underneath, lying on that shoulder. Take the opposite hand and just have it out in front of you. Good. Now you're going to take your hands and push them into the floor. So you're actively pushing the back of one hand and the front of the other hand into the floor. Push them into the floor. Take your hips and shift them to the opposite side, away from you, so you're stretching your back. Now release pushing into the floor and bring your hips back to center. Push into the floor and rotate your hips away from you. You should feel this all the way down your whole back. Release the push and bring it back. So with your fascia, you want to tighten everything really tight and then stretch your hips away like you're peeling it apart. You're peeling the orange away from the white and bring it back. Push into it and resist as you lengthen your hips away from you. Let go of the resistance and bring it back. Let's do two more. Pushing into it. Good. And one more. Push into the floor. Resist with your hips going the opposite direction. Bring it back to center and then bring yourself up onto all fours. Line your spine up. Sweep your arm, the opposite arm, through your body. Place your hand on the mat up by your temples, or not like a 90-degree angle. Push your hands into the mat and then shift your hips away from you, the opposite side, away from your hands. Let go of the resistance and bring yourself back to center, floating yourself back. Push into the mat and shift your hips away. Good. Without no resistance, float yourself back. It's releasing all the fascia down your back. And resist, hips go away. No resistance to float yourself back. Push into the floor, shift. No resistance to bring yourself back. Let's do two more. Push into the floor, shifting your hips. No resistance to float yourself back. Last time. No resistance to float yourself back. And then just bring yourself up. Sit in any position that's comfortable for you. Think about your posture. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale and exhale. Great work. We'll see you tomorrow.